What if all the water in the world was controlled by 5 companies? What if all the electricity was controlled by private companies? 5 private companies that dispensed it at whatever price they wanted. There weren't any governmental controls as to what it cost for water, for electricity, for natural gas. What if that was the case? It isn't. We have utilities, and they're regulated and governed very strongly. But what if all the knowledge in the world was controlled by 5 or 6 companies? Well, that's exactly what's happening. That Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta are going to be the primary providers of all the knowledge in the world because they have in their silos, in their data centers, they have all that knowledge. They are building data centers as fast as they can, and they can't keep up with the current demand. I'm reading a book. It's called Empire of AI by Kerry, H-A-O. It's all about Sam Altman and his building of OpenAI. And what just yesterday she shared with me is exactly what I just shared with you. There is a race, and I mean a race, to build data centers. Just today, I believe it was Amazon announced that they're going to build a $4 billion data center in South Korea, the largest data center in South Korea. This Karen has explained to me that these companies, Google and Amazon and Microsoft, are running through South America, buying up land so that they can build data centers, so that they can control the dispensing of all the knowledge in the world. Not the water, not the electricity, not the natural gas, but all the knowledge in the world. So if you and I are investors, and we recognize this, few of us have, that this is a race to monetize all the knowledge in the world. And in order to get it done, they've got to buy the land. Now, why would these countries welcome in open arms Google and Microsoft and Meta to build these data centers? It used to be a data center was a closet in an office that had 4 towers or of PCs. And then it became, hey, we have the cloud available to you. Get rid of those things that you have to work with and maintain in your closet, and just give us the data and we'll store it for you. And they explained to us they would put them in data centers the size of football fields. That's what they told us. And we bought it and we went along with it. Then in November of, 2022, Sam Altman said, I have something called AI, artificial intelligence. It's a large language platform, and where I'm gathering all this data and I'm computerizing it so that you can ask any question, it'll come back to you, and it can be at any level of complication. Well, Karen has explained to me that when you ask a simple question, like a recipe for lasagna, that takes about what it takes 2 times for you in electricity to charge your phone. Now, when you ask a question that with a prompt, a page and a half, and like I do, about a stock, and you actually give them also data sources that they can come, now you're talking about charging your phone about 1,000 times. That's the amount of electricity that it uses. And it creates in these data centers that are acres big, that have millions of PC towers in, with GPUs and CPUs, and now we've learned about XPUs, it creates a tremendous amount of heat, which then is cooled with water. So what the people don't know in Argentina that just sold this acreage to Google and said, hey, we're going to need your people to help us build this data center that's going to take up 10 acres of land. What they don't know in that fine print on the bottom of that contract is we're going to have first priority on all your water and all your electricity. And as far as employees, we need 10 people that speak English. That's what's happening. And they're racing to get this done because the demand is already exceeding their capability. I went to Samantha and I asked her, to do me an analysis of Crowdweave, CRWV, I believe it is. And she came back to, always in the past, she said, okay, I'll get it done for you. And it took usually 15 minutes. She asked me today, 24 hours or 48 hours. How important is this to you, Kerry? They are being overwhelmed for access to all the knowledge in the world. And it's all going to be controlled by, for the most part, 5 companies. Now, what I also know is there are a bunch of, and usually they were datum or Bitcoin miners who had data centers. They weren't acres, but they consumed a lot, and they became very good at Bitcoin mining. They're switching over. They're going to work for Sam Altman and for Mark Zuckerberg and Google, because they already are built. They already have access to the water. They already have access to the electricity, and their price is going to explode. This is what's happening. And if you know which ones, and how do I know which ones? Well, I have a tribe of about 1,000 people, and they write me and say, look at this stock, because I've told them the parameters that I want before I will put Samantha on a stock. And they are, I want to see exponential growth in earnings, and I want to see exponential growth in revenues. And if they don't have earnings yet, I want extraordinary growth in revenues. And guess what they're sending me? Data center companies, because these companies are growing. APLD. I know it's gone down. Do not worry about that. In fact, this is an opportunity because they already have the land up there in North Dakota. They already have access to the electricity. They even have wind turbines behind them, but they got the acreage and they got the okay. And the people, Microsoft, are beating their doors down. We can't supply the demand that Kerry is putting on us now for Samantha to research stocks. Can we lease more of your access? That's also happening to Iron Energy down in Texas. And then you have other companies who are building silos in it. I had a question. Why can't we find another Amazon? And it went through my head, and I said, holy shit, that's what these companies are. Amazon took 14 years before they showed profit, because what they were doing was monetizing retail. They were taking away all the Kmarts and the J.C. Penney's and the Sears Roebucks. They were replacing them. But it took tremendous investment in capital. Their revenues grew tremendous for 14 years, but they did not show a profit. That's exactly what these data centers are showing right now. So those of you who ask me why we can't find another Amazon, I found them. I know where they are. Hell, did you see my video yesterday where I showed you how my portfolio has grown by 11.5% in the first 16 days of the month, whereas the Dow is down 0.01%, where the QQQs are up 1.5%, and I'm up 11%? Because I've discovered who's monetizing all the knowledge in the world and who's building the infrastructure that's going to allow them to monetize all the knowledge in the world. This will replace Morgan & Morgan. There is no need for 500 lawyers to settle with insurance companies. I am going to build a company, best of us lawyers, and I'm going to replace Morgan & Morgan because I have access to all the knowledge in the world, and Samantha delivers it to me. Now, if you want to get on this bus, best of us, you need to go to the description and find the link to the gold platform and come check out what I've built for 14 days for free. And if it isn't better than sliced bread, okay, you go get your bread somewhere else. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer, I'm a retired financial advisor, and I'm going to become a billionaire because I figured this out.